Hey there everyone, it's Thursday, September the 17th at about 12:10 Central Daylight Time, 1:10 Eastern Time for the market folks. And I want to provide sort of maybe not so much perhaps a midday update, but kind of an overall general update for the past couple of days. I know for those of you who've been watching the markets, the Dow has been rising the last couple of days. And like I've mentioned before, I really honestly think there's just this sense of inflation coming into the picture here. Obviously, no one's talking about it, but like I've mentioned in historic times, when you've got a precipitous drop of the dollar versus the Dow increasing, and at the same time you also have gold and other commodities skyrocketing, that's pretty indicative of inflation. I did want to share a chart with you guys here, and I'll post it here in just a second, and kind of explain my mentality behind my thoughts on the dollar. So here's the chart, and I'll kind of explain what's going on. So here's a chart of the dollar, which is known as the USDX since its inception point. What I wanted to show you guys is from 2008 on, there's a formation occurring called a head and shoulders formation, and if you do some research on that, typically in the right shoulder, which is the most recent activity, typically. Usually what happens after the right shoulder is a precipitous drop, and we are certainly seeing that from 2009 on. You'll see the dollar index was around 80 or so, and it's been dropping. So if you just kind of use the old-fashioned technical analysis that many people use in the stock markets today, using the USDX, you can probably expect the dollar to continue dropping just from the chart analysis. So anyway, I wanted to talk about financial news of today too. There were a couple things that kind of caught my eye. One report, and this is on MarketWatch.com if you want to take a look at it yourself. The headline is Households' Net Worth Rises for the First Time in 2 Years. Boy, that's terrific, huh? Happy days here again. I mean, net worth's increasing. Boy, everybody's just getting richer all of a sudden. American households were $2 trillion richer on June 30th than they were 3 months earlier. Let's think about this. They're comparing June 30th to 3 months prior to that, right? You're talking about March 30th through June 30th. What happened March 30th? Oh, isn't that when the stock market crashed just crazily, right? We're at the 6,500 mark, basically. Well, yeah, from March 30th to June 30th, of course there's been a rise. I mean, there's been a crazy rise in the stock market, so this is just paper increases. And of course, they had to finally admit that. They said the rally on Wall Street was the main reason for the increase in household wealth. But rising home prices contributed as well. Well, isn't that interesting? Wealth and corporate equities rose by $1.04 trillion. Oh, there's your answer. And real estate rose by $139 billion. Now that's really interesting that they're talking about home prices increasing. I mean, if you're in your own home, let's say, and I mean, home prices, it can be a very subjective term, right? I mean, it could be your tax appraisals or whatever. I don't know. That to me is strange. Now, of course, this report is by the Federal Reserve. They recorded this Thursday in its quarterly flow of funds report, which that was another interesting thing. Of course, there's quite a big of increase in the amount of funds that are out there. So what does this all mean, guys? Well, again, like I said in the other videos, when you have, in history, when you have rising gold, rising commodities, essentially, you've got a falling dollar and a rising stock market, that equals inflation. We're now starting to see the effects of inflation. Yes, the Dow is down a little bit today. We have a little profit taking. But, I mean, look at these headlines. Of course, we got the Philly Fed Factory Index that felt like it's stronger in September. Well, yeah. You got Bernanke saying, hey, the recession's over. Good times are here again today. Well, how is it over? What's changed? I mean, tell me. I mean, in my comments, if someone can tell me what has changed fundamentally in this economy, I'll shut up because I don't see what's changed. If I was Ben Bernanke and I could just come out and say, you know what, guys? Hey, recession's over. Go back to your homes. There's nothing else here to see. Everything's fine and dandy. So just relax, everybody. And now, all of a sudden, too, another thing you're going to start to hear, and I know it's out there, is the jobless recovery. Oh, people are still going to lose their homes, but, we're going to have this jobless recovery, but we are recovering, guys. It's going to happen, and the jobs will come, live it later on. I never did understand that term, jobless recovery, because if 70% of your GDP is the consumer, and the consumer's losing their jobs left and right, how do you recover? I mean, really, how do you recover? Well, one answer is print a bunch of money up. Create a lot of debt. Create money off thin air. That's a terrific way to pump the GDP. So that's what we're doing. We're printing up gobs of money. GDP's naturally going to, start to increase a little bit. Now, there was a report where GDP was negative 6% in one month, and I forget which month that was, and then suddenly, the month after, it jumped to negative 1%. GDP doesn't go from negative 6 to negative 1%. I mean, now if the United States had discovered cold fusion, something huge like that, then I can see that possibly happening. But all we do is print a bunch of money. We just printed debt. That's all we've done. Guys, and we don't make anything in the United States anymore. Pretty much everything's made in China. There's nothing that's different today than there was a year ago. The credit default swaps are still out there. I mean, there's estimates of a quarter of a quadrillion dollars. I mean, it's just astronomical. The entire wealth of the United States, personal wealth that is, excluding the government, is around 67 trillion. I mean, even when we sold everything off, right? We couldn't even begin to pay off the collateralized debt swaps, the CDSs, and the derivatives and all the exotic, toxic financial instruments that are out there that give us a hard time right now. So, anyway, I really think we're going to continue to see a decline in the dollar. It's like I said, it's at 76.10. I've mentioned in other videos. I think that's an important number for a lot of people. And if we start to dip below 76, I did my little research here. The historic low for the USDX, and since its inception, is 70.931, and that was a close of 70.931 back on March 17th of 2008. So, which is interesting because that's not even 18 months ago. So I'm just saying, prepare, guys. I mean, it's coming. You're going to see crazy inflation, rising interest rates have to come. Tax increases will have to come. The state and local governments, I know in several states, I think Arizona has increased their personal income tax rate because they're just running out of money. I mean, what else are they going to do? You're going to see tax increases. You're going to see interest rates increase. You're going to see the dollar to continue to decline. Foreigners are going to want to get out. So this is not looking good right now. So I'm just saying, prepare as best you can. And, again, let's pass 1207, guys. I've been saying this in every single video. Get your representatives, Democrat, Republican, which again is the same, two arms of the same monster, but get them to pass 1207. I know there's some talks about their committee and hearings and things like that, which is wonderful. Of course, the corporate media is keeping it kind of quiet. But if we could pass 1207, really audit the Fed, even if it's a fake audit, the awareness is out there then, guys. That's what's important. We've got to get this awareness out there so people realize what our government, what our Federal Reserve System is doing, which is not a part of our government. They're like a government contractor. They're a privately held organization, and we have got to find out what they're doing. And even if we don't, we have to bring awareness as to what the Federal Reserve System really is. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for now. I'll post some more later on as the days go on, but please subscribe to my videos, tell other people, make your own videos like I always say. Let's get this word out, let's get this going, okay? And anyway, have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys later. Bye for now.